Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary and I am so excited for you to be here with me today. If you want to see this full face, go ahead and check out my previous video using all Catrice products. Now, let's go ahead and wash this makeup off and put on a brand new face. Hello everybody, we are back and we are ready for our next brand new face. I am so excited for this brand, as always, very excited to have makeup products in front of me that we can test out together here. The brand that we have in front of us is definitely a brand that many have heard of. The brand is Covergirl. Covergirl is definitely a brand I am somewhat familiar with, maybe not as much as I used to be, but definitely middle school, high school me used so many of these products. So I'm excited to play with these Covergirl products. Covergirl kind of has different like categories, I think, of like types of makeup that they have. They have like their more fresh, clean line that I think is a little fairly newer. They've got like their TruBlend line. There's other things. There's different categories and lines within Covergirl, so I tried to get a little bit of a variety of every little thing. So sitting here in front of me, there's definitely one or maybe two or three products that I'm somewhat familiar with, have maybe seen before or used before, but definitely some newer products here as well. Now we do have a full face, but there's two products that we don't have, and that is highlighter and lip liner. Now, being that Covergirl has been around for so long and they're such a big brand, I feel confident that they have these products, especially a lip liner. Like, for some reason, I'm like remembering that I've seen a Covergirl lip liner before, but in the stores when I went to like purchase the makeup, and even when I checked online for some of these products, I didn't see them as well either. So maybe they're just sold out, or maybe they're changing things up a little bit. So those were two products that I was not able to get. However, I feel confident that they do exist. So other than that, we've got, I think it was, 12 products sitting here in front of us. So let's go ahead and just get started here. We're gonna first take a look at Covergirl's website and kind of figure out what they're all about. So I've got it pulled up here and I'll just read a little bit of what it says here on their site. It says, Covergirl, a cosmetics category leader, celebrates authenticity, diversity, and self-expression through makeup. They were born in 1961. They offer accessible, affordable, and inclusive makeup for everyone. Through the years, Covergirl has partnered with a number of inspirational, barrier-breaking, diverse women as the face of the brand. In 2018, they became the largest makeup brand to be the Leaping Bunny certified, so they're cruelty-free, which is so amazing. So that's just kind of a brief. There's a little bit more here on the website as well that they kind of go into, but definitely a well-known brand, and it seems like as they've been a brand, they're always looking to continually improve. Becoming cruelty-free, I think, is really amazing, and I love that they just the partnerships that they've had with other influencers, I think, is super amazing as well. So that's very exciting. Let's go ahead and get started into the look here. So we're going to start out on our eyes like we usually do, and we are going to grab their concealer. And the concealer that I got was the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover Conceal. And so here's what it looks like. I think this one is not like a newest concealer of theirs. I think it's been maybe around for a little over a year. I have had this concealer before, but I had a different shade. So this is a new bottle for me, but a newer shade. So I don't recall how I thought of the first one. So let's just go ahead and dot a little bit of this on our eyes. So when we open the bottle, it is a doe foot applicator. It's one of those larger ones. Those have been starting to become a little bit more popular. And it looks like it holds a decent amount of product right there on the tip. So that's really nice. We're just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of this on the eyelids. And we will go ahead and grab a blender. We're gonna use the Koki blender today. It's dampened. And we will just dab that out And I think I am gonna build it up just a little bit more here. I think I want just a little bit more coverage, and I just wanna see if we can build it up a touch, and hopefully it doesn't crease. I feel like I flop back and forth when it comes to like, ooh, I want it to be sheer and be cautious of it creasing. This time I want to put more on and cross my fingers that it doesn't crease. Every day I'm a little bit different about how I feel when it comes to how much makeup I want to put on. Okay, so that's applied. I feel like that it applied well. There's nothing really specific standing out about it here right now. It felt like it had like a slight tackiness to it, but I feel like that's drying down fairly quick. I'd say it probably leans to a matte coverage. Doesn't seem to be creasing off the bat here, but we will see as we continue with the eyes if that decides to crease up. But so far, I think it is a pretty good base for our eyes. So next we will go ahead and hop into the eyeshadow palette. And the one that I got was their Covergirl TruNaked Queenship. They had a couple different varieties of these types of eyeshadows. This is the one that I decided to get. And just realizing it is almost completely a shimmery metallic eyeshadow palette. There is one matte kind of cool brown right here, but everything else definitely has a shine to it, which typically I do like a little bit more of a combination of mattes and shimmers in my eyeshadows. But CoverGirl does have such a variety of eyeshadows. It's just this specific one that I purchased is not quite my preferred layout and combination of eyeshadows. Just something to point out here. It does come with one of these little applicators, which I don't know if we'll use. Maybe we'll use it for the shimmers. Not too sure here yet. But we are going to put a fairly simple base down here, being that there is only the one transition shade. I'm going to go ahead and grab a brush. We're going to go ahead and use our good old M433 brush, and we will dip into that cool brown shade. And we will start kind of creating our crease and the shape that we want. I haven't really figured out what direction we're going with this yet. I'm just kind of diving in and figuring it out as we go. All right, and as I work on this second eye here, I'll try and kind of talk about how it's applying. I think the color is really good, like shadow, crease. It's that cool toned, so it's very nice, like contour type shade, I would describe it as. It's not overly pigmented, but it is building up here fairly nicely. It is a good matte shade. It is definitely dusty in the pan, and a good amount does kick off when you tap your brush. Definitely things that I don't mind at all. Just like to mention them for you guys in case it is something that you do or don't prefer. So far, I do really like the shade, and I do like how it is applying. I'm just going to take a little bit more time here and make sure I have my base where I want it. Base shade is applied. Hopefully you can kind of see here, yeah, it's just kind of creating a nice shadow transition there. So it's a very simple color, but sometimes colors like this are very nice staples to have in an eyeshadow palette. So I do really like how that's looking here on the eyes. I do wish, again, we had more mattes to kind of build off of this with, but I still think we'll hopefully be able to come up with a pretty good, nice, shiny, metallic look with with everything else that we have in the palette here. So let's figure out what we're doing next. There's this beautiful royal blue in here. I don't know how this is gonna turn out. I really want to use this blue here, but I'm kind of curious how it would look if we put down a dark base underneath it. Sometimes when you put like those darker bases under some of these colors, it somehow makes them look more vibrant. Like you can always put whites underneath colors and that'll help them pop, but sometimes that like will brighten the color in a way that you didn't want it to. So doing the opposite and putting a darker base just keeps the color more bold, but still pops. That's the vision I have in mind here, is creating a a royal blue eye here, but I want to maybe first put this color down as a base. So let's go ahead, let's try using that little brush that came with it. Why not? I'm gonna use there's two sides to this. I'm gonna use the wider side here and go ahead and dip into this darker shimmer shade here. And I'm gonna be applying this essentially all over the majority of the eyelid, I think, but focusing it kind of more on the back part here. And then I'm gonna lighten it up as we get closer, I think, with other shadow colors. Okay, so this probably looks pretty odd. I'm hoping things will work out here. But the first thing that I want to mention is that this color is definitely pigmented, shimmery, and I am so far very impressed with the minimal amount of fallout. I do have some here, not too much here on this side, but for how deep and pigmented and just even the way I'm applying it, I thought I would get a significant amount of fallout on my face, and it doesn't seem to be the case, which is really cool. So we've got that black base down. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna flip this over to the other side now, and we're gonna dip into that blue shade and apply that over top, and hopefully this will just really pop over it. No, not really. Okay, so there it is so far. It ended up not quite working the way I was hoping for. You can, in person here, see the blue a little bit better. I don't know how well it will show up here on camera for you guys. So I do think that maybe, let me try swatching this on my arm here. Oh no, see, it's a really dark blue. In the pan here, it looks almost very royal, but I guess when you swatch it, it definitely has a darker undertone to it, I guess. I was definitely hoping that that would have been a little bit more vibrant and royal, but that's okay. So next, I think I'm gonna stick to using my finger. Being that everything is so dark, I was originally thinking to go into this pink, but that might be a little too light. So what I might actually end up doing is dipping my finger between both the silver out here and the pink to bring in this inner part here. So I'm, like I said, just gonna use my finger, kind of bounce back and forth between the two and apply that the inner part. Okay, so I think that's where we're gonna leave the upper eyelids here so far. Things sort of came together fairly quick here. It's I'm not used to having dark colors like this on my eyes, so to me it feels a little sloppy. It might be sloppy, but I still am enjoying how it came together. The colors blended together really nicely. Yeah, I think that's looking, it's looking all right here so far. Again, there was minimal fallout. There is this one spot that seems to be catching a couple of things, so I'm gonna take a wipe. We're not gonna quite clean up the edges here yet. Just kind of dab away a little bit of the fallout that was happening. But again, there really wasn't too much. Looking at my eyes here, I really wish we had some sort of like glitter topper for them. I think that would really make the eyes look real cool. But other than that, I do really like how they're looking here so far. Just definitely a little darker and not quite something I'm used to, but that's okay. It's good to do things a little different. So let's go ahead and grab the next product, which is going to be eyeliner. And this is their Covergirl Intensify Me. And I got the one in their shade black, so it is a liquid pen pencil liner. Opening it up here, it has a sort of smaller felt tip applicator. I've definitely seen tinier, but I think it is a little bit smaller than the average felt tip applicator, I would say. So we'll go ahead and try this out. The felt tip definitely feels very flexible. Seems to lay down very black. Dries down really fast, which is something that we always love in an eyeliner, and it seems to dry down nice and matte. So That seems pretty good off the bat there so far. So let's apply this. I don't think I'm gonna wing it out really this time. I think I am just gonna kind of line and we'll go from there. Okay, we have the eyeliner applied. Not sure how well you'll see it here with the darker shadows that we have going on. I definitely like how it looks. However, it did not necessarily apply as quick as I hoped for it to be. When I was testing it out here on my hand, oh, see, now it is, at first it was coming out nice and black, but it seems to be already not coming out as swiftly. And I don't know, it doesn't have like a shake or anything, but it seems that it kind of dried out on the tip a little quicker than some. So it did take a little bit of time to actually get the product on the eyelid there, but it still looks really pretty. It wasn't uncomfortable or anything to apply. It just took a couple of strokes to actually get the product to show up. Let's go ahead now and grab the next product, which is going to be mascara. Now, Covergirl has a lot of mascaras, and the one that I grabbed was definitely on purpose. This is a mascara that I remember loving when I was in high school. So I went and I got their Covergirl Lash Blast Fusion. And I guess it's water resistant. I don't really remember that from when I was younger. Maybe I preferred the water stuff when I was younger, but I saw the purple tube and I was like, I need to get that one again. I remembered being obsessed with this specific Covergirl mascara when I was younger. So I purposely got the purple one. Now, one of my favorite things about Covergirl's mascaras is the way that they package them separately with the applicator out, so you can actually see the applicator before it gets coated with mascara. You can kind of, you probably shouldn't put your hands all over it, but honestly, it's really fun to like mess around with the applicator. But they make so many different types of mascaras and applicators, some of them being a little bit more firm, some of them being softer, longer, shorter bristles, all of that stuff. So it's really fun to be able to see this before it's actually been dunked in. So here is the applicator before it is dipped in. The bristles are, I would describe them as softer bristles. They're not really pokey or sharp to the touch. I guess it is one of their more, it's like a rubber silicone applicator. It's not the typical bristles. So that is that. And then my favorite thing, it's so satisfying to be able to dunk it into the fresh mascara. So let's go ahead and take the little top off of here. Set that aside. And oh, so fun. Alrighty, and it is nice and coated here now. So here's now what it's looking like with the mascara on it. I feel like it coats it fairly well. It does what it's supposed to do, I guess. So let's go ahead and curl our lashes here, and then we will go ahead and apply the mascara. Alrighty, that mascara is applied. Hopefully you guys can somewhat see it here. I know it might be a little tricky with my tinier lashes and the darker eye look that we have going on. Now, the first thing that I noticed is I don't think that this is a very like true black mascara. I think it's a little bit more of like a dark gray, more charcoal mascara. And honestly, I think that's why I liked this one as much when I was younger. Being that it wasn't so bold and so black, I kind of preferred the more softer mascaras, more natural looking mascaras, I think, when I was younger. So I definitely still really like it. I just don't think it's quite the mascara for the dark and somewhat bold look that we have going on. We kind of need a more bold mascara to kind of go along with what's going on here. So I do love the way that it laid on. The applicator is soft and coats lashes really, really nicely. So everything is looking good there. Just maybe not the right mascara for the type of eye look that we have going on. So that is the eyes here so far. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the face here now. And the next product that we're going to grab is going to be the primer. And the primer that I picked up is the Covergirl TruBlend Base Business. This is their pore minimizing primer. I think the TruBlend primers like this are maybe fairly new. Again, maybe they're like a year old. I'm not too sure. They have so many different primer options, so many different primer colors. I think just for some reason on this channel, I'm gravitated towards the purple ones, and the fact that this one is pore minimizing, that is definitely something that I always go towards. So here's what that looks like. Let's go ahead and open it up. And it's a squeezy tube here. I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. Doesn't really smell like anything, which is good. Okay. And it feels like it thickens up fairly quick. It doesn't feel too silicone-y. It just kind of feels, you know, slick, kind of lotion-y, I'd say. So that's nice. I definitely don't prefer those silicone-y feels. I think it'll hopefully be pretty smoothing here. Yeah, let's go ahead and put a little bit on our fingers. Like usual, we're gonna focus it kind of here in the center of the face where I have the most pore filling that I wanna do, and then disperse a little bit less on the outer parts of the face here. And I just realized I did not clean up the edges of the eyes. I think that'll be okay. We'll just kind of roll with it. Maybe our concealer will crisp those up if we want to do that. So we have the primer applied here. Overall, I really like the texture and how it sits here on the face. It's not slippy or anything like that. It's not grippy necessarily either, but I feel that it has a nice consistency that the foundation will sit nicely over top. It's intended to be pore minimizing. I see a little bit of that going on, not as much in more of the heavier areas that I really would like to be pore minimized. So not so much in those spots. I'm gonna try to get a little bit more on this stubborn guy and see if we can fill him in. It's definitely still there, but maybe it'll disappear a little bit more when we have the foundation over top. But yeah, I like the way that it sits on the face here. It doesn't seem that we have to wait too long to put foundation over top. Sometimes you have to like let the primer sit in a little bit. This one kind of just seems like boom, ready to go, which is always nice. So let's go ahead and grab the foundation now. Now, I believe I've used a lot of CoverGirl foundations in my life. I remember, and I don't know if they make it anymore. They probably do. There was one when I was younger that I really liked that was like the twisty, had like the two products kind of twisted together, and as it came through the pump, you know, it mixed it together. I remembered really loving that one when I was younger. Again, I've used so many CoverGirl foundations in my life, so I decided to go with one of their more new ones here to, you know, just expand on my CoverGirl usage. I don't know what I'm saying, but I got the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk. It's their nourishing foundation. It's got coconut milk, oh boy, and aloe extract. So here's what the packaging looks like. This is a fairly newer collection of theirs versus the other like TruBlend that I've been using here. So excited to try this out. And the shade that I got, which is hopefully a good shade, is the shade Fair in 520. It also says on here that it has a dewy finish. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead, open this up. And I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand here for you guys to see. Okay. Seems to be a little bit more on the liquidy side of things. Not like super runny, but kind of drips out of the package here fairly quick. I think that'll be a good match. Awesome. Okay, so we will go ahead. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit more of this on the back of my hand here. Not sure how much to use. We'll start there. And then we will grab the Koki blender and apply to our face. So as I finish putting this on here, I definitely really like how it looks. It is definitely a very natural sheer coverage foundation, but I feel like it's doing a really good job of just like evening the skin tone out here. It's laying over everything really nicely. I am curious to see how buildable it is because I maybe want to get a little bit more coverage there. And I like the amount of dewiness that it has. It's definitely not overdoing it. It's doing it in a very natural, fresh way, kind of as it says on the bottle, clean, fresh. I feel very fresh. I like that. So yeah, like the dewy consistency of it, love the even tone that it's giving here on the face. I feel like I don't typically go for a lot of more sheer light coverage foundations. I like to have enough coverage to cover up, you know, whatever blemishes I might have going on. But something about this one, just the way that it evened everything out in such a natural way, I'm really liking. I'm actually going to take this on my finger and try to, we'll probably have to use some concealer in this area for sure. I don't want to make it too heavy in that area at all. But yeah, I really like how that looks here on the face. It definitely has some tackiness to it, so we will have to set it down. That's probably going to take away some of the dewiness that it has going on here, but I think that'll be okay. Yeah, I like that. I really like that. I think that's really pretty, and we did an okay job with the shade match. Yes, awesome. Very exciting. Okay, let's go ahead and put the blender down here for a little bit. Put the lid on that. And grab our concealer again. And we will go ahead and conceal under the eyes. Hit this little stubborn area here. And I've got stuff going on down here a little bit. I don't think I'll need to hit too many other places though. And we will just take the blender again. And go ahead and just blend it out. As we blend this out, I'll talk about the eyes here because we've got the concealer again. I think this worked out really well so far as an eye base. Usually by this point you can definitely see creasage happening on the eyes, whether it is just from the shadows moving around or from the concealer moving around. And between the two of them, I'm seeing little to no creasage. So that's exciting. So we'll go ahead and have to see if it decides to crease under the eyes here at all. But on the lids themselves, it's working out really well. Okay, concealer is on. Again, things are still definitely feeling sticky. I was kind of curious as when we were applying the concealer if that would start to kind of dry down, but it definitely has a stickiness that I'd like to set down. So let's go ahead and grab the powder here. And this is their Covergirl Clean Professional. And I got their 105 Loose Translucent, their fair one. All right, and when you open it up here, it does come with its own very fluffy puff. I don't think we're gonna use this today, so we'll set that aside. And then we will have to unstick it and we will dump this into the lid. It says that it is translucent, but it also says that it's for fair. There definitely looks to be a pigment to the powder, a little bit darker than some of the other powders that I have. So I am curious if there will actually be a shade to this and it won't actually be like clear translucent. And let's go ahead and grab our Sonia brush here. I'll dip in. All right, we've got the powder applied here. It still has a little bit of a tackiness. Maybe I just didn't go heavy in some spots, or heavy enough. I don't want to go too heavy and make everything totally matte again. We definitely feel a little bit more set down, but there is still some of that tackiness coming through. Something that I want to do, which might bring some more tackiness back, but I want to try to get some of that dewiness and that naturalness to come back. So I'm just going to use my blender here again. Nothing's added to it, but just kind of tap over everything here again. See if I can pull up any excess powder that might be on the face here or sink it into the skin a little bit better and try to bring a little bit of that dewiness back again. All right, next I think what I want to do is finish the eyes because I'm not sure where I want to go with it yet. So I want to figure that out, finish the eyes, and then we will either do the brows or the face here next. I'm not quite sure what direction we're going to go here yet. So let's grab the eyeshadow palette here again. I think we're going to mix it up here a little bit on the lower lash line just to try to use a couple more of these colors. And I think we're going to try to get some use out of this more purple shade here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my M433 brush here again, dip back into that shade here. You'll see that it's kind of dark. It kind of picked up some of those darker shades as well when blending things through. But that's okay. So we will grab that cooler brown shade, pinch the brush, and run this against the lower lash line. Okay, and then what we will go ahead and do is we will grab this little applicator again. I'm honestly using this a little bit more than I thought I would, which is really cool. And on the other side here, it's got a more narrow tip on it, and we're gonna dip into that purpley shade here, just kind of on the tip. And I'm gonna run that along the majority of the lower lash line here, not quite to the inner third, but this will be our primary color on the lower lash. All right, and then we will flip it over here, and then we will take, I was gonna take this shade, but I think just to tie everything in, I'm gonna take this lightest shade here to connect everything kind of in the inner third, inner corner area. All right, there are the shadows on the lower lash complete. Definitely still on that dark kind of look with the red. It's kind of smoky and vampy. I'm actually really liking how it's turning out. Still, as I said earlier, a different type of eye look that I'm used to, but I'm liking how it's turning out here. So let's go ahead and grab the mascara again and apply that to the lower lash line. Okay, so the mascara is applied on the lower lash here now, so the eyes are complete. I like them. Let's go ahead and keep moving here on the face. I think next we're gonna do brows. I think I want to try and get those to work with what we have going on with the eyes. Maybe something a little bit more shaped and bold, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. So for the brow product, we have the Covergirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. And I have the one in their shade 720 Soft Blonde, and it is one of the nice thin brow pencils, and the pencil itself, like the product itself, isn't as like skinny as some of these more thin ones, but I do still like that it is a smaller pencil. And then they do also provide a spoolie here on the other end as well, so I do very much enjoy that. So let's go ahead and comb through our brows here, and we will see what we think of this product. Okay, so there's one brow complete for the most part. In person, I feel like I like the color, but when I look at it on camera, it looks almost kind of reddy, a reddish tint. So I'll have to take a look at the color in more natural lighting and more natural situations rather than like with my light beaming on me here, to see if I do actually enjoy the color. But so far for the application, very quick, very easy. It does a good job of doing nice little thin strokes here. I think my application is still sloppy. I definitely still am working on figuring brows out. They're definitely not something I'm the best at, but I think I've improved a little bit. But yeah, I think overall I'm liking how it's performing here so far. I do just think I need to spend a little bit of time to figure out if I do actually like the color of it. I think that I do, but just when I looked up for a second there, it looked a little bit more red on camera. So let's go ahead and finish up the other one here. I think I've got them somewhat to where I want them. Gonna be as good as they're gonna get, but I do like how they're looking here on the eyes so far. So that is exciting. All right, so next for the brows here, we're gonna go ahead and set them down using the gel. And this is the Covergirl Easy Breezy Brow, and I believe it is tinted. Yep, this is in their 105 Light Pale shade. So when we open it up here, it is a smaller spoolie. It picks up a lot of product on it. So I'll go ahead and try to go cautiously into the brows so it doesn't get too thick. Let's go ahead and comb this to the brows now. Okay, so there is one brow with the gel so far. I think it darkens things a touch, but not to an extreme. You definitely feel it setting down, which is something that I always enjoy from a brow gel. It did a good job fluffing them up here, so yeah, so far I'm liking that. Let's go ahead and do the other brow here. Okay. There are the brows. Definitely made them very bold. I think I like that. Got a little sloppy right there. That's okay. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move back to the face here, and we will go ahead and grab the bronzer next. So for bronzer, we have the Covergirl TruBlend So Flushed. It is their high pigment bronzer. So here is what the packaging looks like. And opening it up, here is what it looks like. And I got the 39 Sunset Glitz shade. So it looks as though there might be a little bit of a glow to it when you kind of try to hit it in the light here. It looks a little bit of a slightly different color than some of the bronzers that I have. A little deeper, but also with that goldy punch on it too. So hopefully this will look really nice on the face. Let's go ahead and use, I think today I'm gonna use a e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush. It is a little bit fluffier, but it's a little bit smaller too to have some control. So we will go ahead and dip in there. And then I'm gonna tap it on my wrist here first, and we will apply to the base. We have the bronzer applied. Honestly, I do really like it. I expected it to be a lot more punchy than this based off them saying that it was a high pigment bronzer. I thought that I'd have to go in very cautious and take my time to really blend it out, but it definitely is a softer bronzer. It took some building on it, more building than I thought, but I do really like the sculpt that it is giving here. It is giving a very nice glow. It is definitely a different tone of bronzer than I have. That's kind of what I thought when I opened it up here. So I think I do like the tone a lot and the gold shine that it gives. Yeah, I think I'm liking it so far. Let's go ahead and put that down, and we will grab the next product, which is the blush. And when I opened the packaging on this just felt so old school. But this is their CoverGirl Classic Color, and I got the shade 540 in Rose Silk. And when it was in the packaging, it was swapped, but then I think it opens like this, but also I think it can slide. I don't know. So I'm going to take that part off because I don't know quite how that part works. But this is very classic. I remember the old CoverGirl blushes that I used when I was younger, and this packaging and just the way that it is in here, it just brings me back to that so much. I know that they do have newer blushes, but for some reason when I saw this one, I was just like, yes, I need to get something that's just brings me back. So I got this one here. It does come with a little brush here. Not gonna use this. No, not gonna use that. I think I'm actually just gonna stick with the same brush that we used for bronzer, dip in that way, and then they'll kind of blend nicely together. So let's go ahead, dip on in and apply the blush. Ooh, definitely very pink. And I applied that fairly quick. I went very light-handed with it. It is definitely a very pigmented blush, and it has a lot of shimmer in it. I put it on just a touch higher with that shimmer, so it definitely is working to highlight the face here as well, which is nice because we didn't have a highlighter. Very pink, very pigmented, a lot of shimmer in it. I think it is a little bit too much of a pinky color for our deeper eyes that we have going on here, but I still think it looks really nice here on the face. So there is the blush. Let's go ahead, set that down, and what are we on to next? Are we to the lips? All right, we are on to the lips here now. Again, we did not have a lip liner. I'm confident that they have them. I didn't come across any when I was coming around to purchasing makeup and stuff. So I did just get a lipstick, and this is their Covergirl. It might be their Exhibition lip cream. I'm not too sure, but I got it in the shade 390, and it is their Sweetheart Blush. So here's what it looks like. Something that I really like about not just CoverGirl, but a lot of makeup brands do this is when you open it, you have the product here. Oh, that's so pretty. But then they also provide more product on the bottom here. Now I tried to get this off earlier and I couldn't, so I don't want to break anything, but if you ever either run low on this or you prefer to apply your lipstick in a different way, you do have this extra product on bottom as well that you can use, which I think is really cool. But opening this up here, ooh, it is so pretty. The shine, there's like almost really cool marbling going on there in the front. Hopefully you can see it just with the way that the shimmer mixed in. Oh, it's so pretty. Let's go ahead and apply this on the lips. It's so pretty. Oh, it's so metallic-y. Whoa. Whoa. I don't hate it, but I don't love it, especially for this look. It is very, very light, and it seems so much lighter up here than the bottom part. I think I'm gonna try to open that. See if I can get to it. I can't open it. I can't open it. This color here on the bottom looks so much more pink than the product on top. Interesting. I like how the lipstick feels on the lips. Very hydrating. It is extremely metallic and light, and it's throwing me off a little bit. Probably not my favorite lip color, but I do like how it is feeling here on the lips. So let's go ahead and grab the last product, which is going to be the setting spray. And I decided to get their CoverGirl Clean Fresh Prep and Set Water Mist. This hydrates, preps, and sets, and gives glowing skin. Yay, glow. So let's go ahead and do a mister test. I like the sprayer on that. That's very nice. Doesn't really have a scent or anything, so that's nice as well. Let's go ahead and set the face. That is so refreshing. That feels so nice. I love it. That feels so nice on the face. Yes. Let's go ahead and take our fan and our sponge. Ooh, that was nice. Something about that was very nice, very refreshing feeling on the face. I kind of went crazy with it, but you can't even really tell. Some setting sprays, especially when they're dewy, your face just looks like it's melting. And I don't think that's the case with this. I think you could go overboard with it. Probably, maybe not too overboard, but you can definitely go fairly heavy with this, and I think your makeup still is going to look great. So that was very, very nice. So this is our full face. Overall, I'm actually really happy with how everything is working. I don't think the eyes with the blush and the lip are the best combos for each other, but that happens typically with these brand new face videos. But I like how the face is feeling. So there's that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And we will go ahead and get set up here to talk about the products individually. All right, we are all set up here to talk about the products individually. Again, this is our full face. Overall, I do really like the makeup look, and I like how everything is sitting and feeling on the face. I don't need to repeat myself too much here, but we could have had things tie in a little bit better, but that is okay. So yeah. This is the full face. I think for the most part it turned out fairly nice. So let's go ahead and figure out how much this full face costs. I've got it pulled up here, and this full face costs us $123.37. Now, thinking about that, I honestly think that is a very good price. CoverGirl is definitely a drugstore brand, and you can get drugstore makeup that is like over $200 for a full face. And so the fact that this is on the lower end, but still drugstore, I looking at the individual prices here for the products is very affordable. And when you look at that and you see the way that they perform, I think that is a very, very nice price point. So loving the price point, and I'm loving the overall performance of the products here. So individually here, let's go ahead and start off with the concealer and the way that it sat here on the eyes and the way that we used it to conceal under the eyes. Sorry, I just want to take a quick look because I didn't actually look back at that. Yeah, I think that worked out really well. I expected there to be some creasage on the eyes, and really there isn't any. Wow, yes, okay. This is definitely a yes. Again, I had a concealer like this at one point that was given to me. I think it was just the wrong shade, so I ended up giving it away. But I am so happy I have this back in my collection again. Oh my gosh, I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this. So this guy is definitely a yes. And then we did the eyes here. I am gonna say yes. Now, the fact that it only has that one matte shade in it, I definitely think that this is a eyeshadow palette that would be better used in combination with other eyeshadow palettes. I like the performance of the shimmers. The fact that there was minimal fallout on the face here was really, really nice. The pigment on them is great. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this. I just don't know how often by itself I would pick it up. I would pick it up just to get that one or two metallic shades that I wanted to use in combination with a previous eyeshadow palette. So yes to this guy. And then we did the eyeliner, this guy right here, and I'm gonna have to say no. I do really like how it's looking here on the eyes, but again, it did start to dry out pretty quickly, and it wasn't as like deep black, and it took a couple of strokes to actually get the eyeliner to apply on the eyes here. So that's definitely something I didn't enjoy about it. The applicator was a really nice size, and it was really soft. It didn't feel scratchy or anything like that applying it. Just would have liked a little bit more of a quicker and more consistent application with it. So I am gonna say no to this guy. And then we did the mascara, this guy right here. I am gonna say yes, just because it is like a good old school mascara for me. I was very quickly reminded as to why I loved it as a kid. I do really like that different, like soft, more charcoaly gray mascara that it is. However, for this look, we definitely needed something a little bit more black and bold. So for this look, I wouldn't choose it again, but for a more everyday, more natural look, I definitely can see myself reaching for this again. And yes, I was just instantly reminded of just how much I liked it as a kid. So yes to the mascara. And then we hopped in on the face here and we did the primer. This guy right here. And I think I'm going to say yes for now. I definitely think it played a really good part in how our foundation and our overall face is looking here. I liked the consistency of it and the way that it felt on the face. That's right. So yeah, I do like how it felt on the face and how prepped the skin felt for foundation. It is a pore minimizing. I definitely think I have other primers that are maybe a little bit more pore minimizing than this guy. But I do like to use primers in combination with others, so I do think that if we use something a little bit more pore minimizing heavy, I guess, to really get those stubborn spots and whatnot, and then use this a little bit more spread out. I think that could be really, really nice. So I am gonna say yes to this guy. And then we put on our foundation. This is also going to be a yes. I don't typically hang on to a lot of more like lighter and sheer coverage foundations, but this did something just so nice to the skin to make it look so fresh, so natural. It definitely is a little tacky and you can still feel that a little bit. So I think it needs to be set down with a powder. But yeah, I really like how it's sitting on the face. Typically by the end of these videos, I have a decent amount of creasing going on my forehead here, and that's not really happening too bad, which is really, really nice. So definitely for a more natural, more everyday makeup kind of day, I think this would be really, really nice. So I'm gonna say yes to the foundation. And then we did the powder, the CoverGirl Clean Professional Powder. I think I'm gonna say no, because it definitely didn't take that tackiness away that the foundation left. And that's definitely something that I need from a powder. And it did, I mean, it was matte and it pulled away a little bit of the dewiness, which sometimes is definitely something that you want. I don't know, I just don't think I was really thrilled by it, and the fact that it really didn't pull away the stickiness or the tackiness that the foundation had, I don't think I was very thrilled by it. I was worried at first that it would be somewhat tinted or change the color of the foundation. It did not do that, so that's really nice. But yeah, I just wasn't super thrilled by it, so we are gonna say no to the powder. And then we hopped back into the brows. Yes. So for the brows, we first used that CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil. And I am gonna say yes to this guy for now. As I stated as we were going through the video, I wanna make sure I do like the color. Depending on the lighting that you're in, I think it might look a little bit more red. But I do like the base that it provided, and being that it's a slim pencil, I just prefer those a little bit more. I feel like I have an easier application with them. So yeah, I did really enjoy the pencil application. And then we set those down with the brow gel. And this is also going to be a yes. I feel that the brow hairs are staying nice and lifted right where I want them. And it definitely has not like a super crunchy, but it has that crunchy feel that I really enjoy in a brow gel. I like feeling that those guys aren't going to be moving. So that is the biggest thing I really like about it. And it just did a really good job of fluffing the brow hairs up, keeping them straight, added a little bit of a tint. It didn't change the color here too much, I don't think, from the previous one, or from the previous pencil, which I do really like. So yeah. I do really like the gel. And then we hopped back to the face and we applied the bronzer. For the bronzer, I think I'm also gonna say yes. It definitely didn't perform as I anticipated that it would, being that it said it's a high pigmented bronzer. Definitely took a little bit more to build up the bronzing on the face here, I think. I do think, being that it is a slightly different tone of bronzer that I have currently, I do want to hang on to it and just kind of see where it sits in my collection and try to feel out how much I will use it, because I do really like how it's on the face here. I do think it looks really, really pretty. So I am going to say yes to this guy definitely for now, and we'll see how long it sticks in the collection. And then we went into the blush. I'm not typically one who goes for these more shimmer blushes, but I like it still too. Let's say yes. I think I want to hang on to it for now because I do really like how it's on the face here. The fact that we didn't have to use a highlighter, I think it does look really pretty. I don't know what more to say to it, because typically I would see something like this be like, no, it's not really my type of blush, but something about it I just think looks really beautiful on the skin here. So I am gonna say yes. I do really like how it looks, which isn't typically with these types of blushes and the shimmery. Typically I wouldn't enjoy this, but I am enjoying it. So I am gonna say yes to the blush. Then we went on to the lips. So for this specific lipstick, I'm gonna say no. It is definitely too light, too shiny. It's definitely throwing me off here, but I do really like how it feels on the lips. So I am curious to see what other colors they have. Maybe I'll end up finding something a little bit darker that I would end up really liking, but if I didn't see what I look like and I just felt it on the lips here, I definitely really enjoy that part of it. It's just a little too light and a little too shiny. I am still really curious because the base here just looks much more pink versus the top being so much lighter and so shiny. I might really have to try and fuss to get this bottom off to see if for some reason this color on the bottom is different, which that shouldn't be the case because this is kind of how they show you what's inside, so you don't have to open it. You can kind of actually see the real pigment there. I don't know, but this specific eye I'm gonna say no to. And then last we had the setting spray, and I am gonna say yes. I really liked the setting spray. I like how it made the face feel right at the end there. It was so refreshing. Like, I don't know what about it. It just, like, it didn't have any weird scents to it. The mixture on it was really nice. It felt really cooling on the face. It says that it's dewy, but it didn't overdo the dew on the face. It just looks really pretty. It felt really nice. This is definitely a yes. That is all of the products. There are 3 products here that we aren't going to be hanging on to, but we do have a good amount that we are hanging on to, and I am so happy and I am so excited to have these products in my collection and some of them in my collection again. That definitely makes me really, really happy. So yeah, awesome job, Covergirl. These products are fantastic. And that is going to be everything for this video. If you guys enjoy the video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And if you guys want to be notified of the next time that I post, feel free to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you guys can be notified. And lastly, if there were any Covergirl products that you did not see me put to the test, or if you'd like to see a full wear test of any Covergirl products, feel free to leave that in the comments down below, and I would love to try to make that happen for you. Lastly, if you guys have any brand recommendations, feel free to leave those in the comments down below as well, and I would love to add it to the list of so many brands and make a future video for you. That's going to be everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye!